Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Mars M9, and I'ma just keep this, nice, simple, and short. 2 words. Holy shit. Like I just woke up not too long ago, and I'm still in shock. I have no idea what the hell I just watched last night, man. I have no clue what I just saw last night. First, we have Minoru Suzuki come out and pretty much call out John Moxley, got into a little brawl with him. Next, we had the most insane tag team steel cage match I've ever seen in my life, to watch the Lucha Brothers win the AEW World Tag Titles, cementing that they're continuously cementing that they're better than the Young Bucks. Then we had Ruby Soho, formerly known as Ruby Riott, come out as the Joker in the Casino Battle Royale and win the Casino Battle Royale. Sorry, let me bring this back up. Code Mars 10 to the side. But we had Ruby win the Casino Battle Royale, get her title shot at the AEW Women's World Champion. Finally, like a few years ago when she was in NXT, I said that I claimed that she was, gonna be the next big star. And WWE didn't even put a title on her whatsoever. They didn't even put the women's tag titles on her when they had perfect opportunity to do so, and they didn't. That was great. Next we had what the hell did we have next? I'm just going about what I can remember off the top of my head. What was completely memorable. We had CM Punk versus Darby Allin match. CM Punk pretty much looks like he didn't miss a beat. There was a few things he didn't do that you can tell he probably wasn't comfortable doing yet, but the GTSs were clean all around. His selling was on point, and they put on a hell of a contest. And big ass pop for his entrance, big ass pop for his win, and that wasn't the end of the pops. So him and his match pop. Ruby pop. Next, Paul White, in-ring debut and win. Expected. The big guy, the big show. And I like how they called him No More BS, and then his song literally sounded almost, it was obviously the same artist and everything. But anyway, on to the next. We had, I don't know what I'm missing in the middle. I don't really care. I'm just going through what was important. Next, we had Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW World Title. Anybody with a brain knew that Kenny Omega was walking out with that title and it was going to lead to a debut. But which debut? No one knew. But what made the most sense was obviously Adam Cole, considering the way Adam Cole was kicked out of Bullet Club. And Lord behold, you hear it's all about that boom. As soon as I heard the voice on that theme song, I knew who it was. Like, Adam Cole comes out, and plus Britt Baker hit the Panama Sunrise earlier in the night to add on to it. But Adam Cole comes out, and it's like, okay, we're gonna get a face off. But in the back of my mind, I'm also like, there's no way Bryan doesn't debut tonight either. So he has to side with the Elite, right? In classic old fashion, despite one of his last big moments in the independent circuit / Ring of Honor in New Japan was him being kicked out of the Bullet Club at the hands of the Elite. But Lord behold, he super kicks Jungle Boy. The kisses on the cheek from the Young Bucks. Reed and Adam Cole is back in the Elite. But no, that's Kenny Omega, about to send the crowd home happy with the goodbye and good night. You hear the rise of the Valkyries. And I'm like, holy shit. The rise of the Valkyries leading into the hardest fucking trap beat I've ever heard. Lord, here comes the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, to fuck shit up. And you know he cut the promo as to why he left WWE for AEW. And you know, it made sense. And obviously the travel shit he didn't want to deal with, but the stuff that he said made sense. WWE isn't wrestling. WWE is straight up sports entertainment. Like, wrestling obviously isn't recognized. Like, I can give them props for trying to look through storytelling and stuff like that, but professional wrestling isn't recognized, because if it was, you would see people like Ricochet, Cedric Alexander winning championships. People like Buddy Murphy would have never been let go. People like now Malachi Black would have never been let go. You know, obviously on the NXT UK portion, you see a lot of pro wrestling oriented things. In the normal NXT, it's starting to become less about pro wrestling. Luckily, someone like Samoa Joe's back to kind of help carry it on. But now you pretty much just see Vince McMahon falling into the ways of old, putting over the bigger competitors, because it looks right. It looks right for these bigger dudes to be world champion. He's not rewarding wrestling. Like, don't get it wrong, I'm liking Roman Reigns. I'm not the biggest fan of the Bobby Lashley run, but the Roman Reigns run, I can see it makes sense all around. But that WWE title could have been on the hands of someone like Miz still. It could have still been in Drew McIntyre's possession. Even though Drew McIntyre is one of those bigger guys, but he's one of those pro wrestling focused bigger guys. I'm babbling a little bit, but it's literally what it is. And with like in AEW, like, there's nothing you can say to convince me that AEW isn't the number one thing in pro wrestling right now. There's nothing you can tell me that convinces me otherwise. Like, at this very moment as I'm speaking, AEW is the main thing in wrestling. Period. Like, if I had to choose, hey, what am I gonna watch on wrestling right now? If AEW and one of the AEW programs and one of the WWE programs came on simultaneously, and I had to choose which one I wanted to watch, I'm choosing AEW. And that's gonna go for the majority of people out there that know what pro wrestling is. For the majority of people out there that aren't just, you know, casual WWE fans, because obviously WWE is that household name that all casual wrestling fans are gonna drift over to. But AEW's on TV, so it now brings that whole feel of what TNA used to be. TNA was on TV, and it also all of a sudden became kind of like a household thing, and people would levitate towards it as a casual fan. But TNA was never on that level of, oh shit, they might put WWE out of business. There's only one other company that was even close to that, and that was WCW. And seeing what AEW's doing, like, in my opinion, they're completely shitting on what WCW was doing in WWE back in the day, because it's pretty much the same thing. Like, big names jumping ship. Names that you didn't expect to jump ship are jumping ship. But it's just on a completely different, like, it's on a completely different level than what it was, though. Like, now you have the biggest names jumping ship. Like, pretty much the people, like, back in the day, you would have had, like, the biggest shocks would have been someone like Triple H, Shawn Michaels jumping ship, stuff like that. And you pretty much have those names of modern day WWE, like, you know, those of modern WWE that would be considered those people jumping ship. Like, who would have thought to see the name Bryan Danielson popping out again? You know? CM Punk being one of the biggest draws in the history of WWE. Who would have thought they would have seen him in a wrestling ring outside of WWE again? Nobody. Why? Because CM Punk, even though he didn't enjoy WWE, he would have been too big of a star to go anywhere else. And, two against the company to go back to WWE. So it was pretty much if AEW didn't exist, CM Punk would never wrestle again. So you have that factor. And you have them bringing in the people that obviously deserve big things. The people that obviously deserve big things, bringing them into AEW and letting them show off, letting them do everything that they want to do, and that's just the reality. AEW is far superior to any and everything. Apologize for multiple different phones ringing in the background right now for this video, but there's nothing out there like AEW. WWE at this very moment can't compete with AEW on any scale. The only match WWE has had recently that can compete, in my opinion, was that Walter and Ilya Dragunov match. That's it. That's all. That's all they got right now. AEW is like, especially with like them not having moves being banned, pretty much certain moves being banned. That's kind of like a main thing too. But like I said, AEW, like WWE tries to, like, here's the thing with WWE as well. They've tried to book SmackDown / NXT. Well, yeah, out of their main shows, they've tried to book SmackDown as the land of opportunity, right? Which in turn takes away from Raw and people getting equal opportunity on Raw. But it looks like that was their purpose, for people to get equal opportunity on SmackDown, but all of the big stars be on Raw, and then they just completely forgot about that. Meanwhile, AEW is embodying everything. AEW is embodying pretty much what all of WWE brands should have been each. Like NXT, up and coming talent. SmackDown, land of opportunity for that known talent that isn't getting all the shine they deserve, and Raw being where the big stars shine. Now you have AEW embodying every single bit of that, plus just like with NXT UK, with the love of professional wrestling being the primary focus, you have that as well in AEW. And reality is AEW is the superior professional wrestling promotion. It's not a fucking brand. It's not a sport. It's not a sports entertainment brand. It is the most superior professional wrestling promotion in recent history. And now they officially have the names to fucking prove it. Like, and that's just reality. And there's no doubt in my mind, whenever Kyle O'Reilly contract expires, we will get Red Dragon in NXT. I mean in AEW. We will 100% get Red Dragon. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that once this AJ Styles contract ends, we will get AJ Styles in AEW. At least for a little bit. There's zero doubt. And I will go as far as to say there's no doubt we get Charlotte Flair there at some point. But that is something I'm speaking of that I kind of hope not to see. But, that's something that's how superior AEW is right now. That's something that, can be brought to attention, because I'm looking at the people in WWE that are straight up professional wrestlers, not just sports entertainers. That are straight up professional wrestling and give a fuck about the sport itself, and give a fuck and they see people that see professional wrestling as an art. But This video probably going longer than I wanted to go, but um, like, comment, subscribe. You know, let me know what you thought. Let me know how you guys feel about all of this. But until next time, peace out.